This segment is sponsored by Hilltop Wealth Solutions.
Erik Brenner from Hilltop Wealth Solutions is a certified financial advisor with nearly 30 years of experience.
And today he's here with some suggestions on how to prepare for possible tax increases. Take a look. So Erik, with so much help in our community right now, PPP loans, stimulus checks, all of that is going to have to be paid back someday. And one of the thoughts is that taxes might have to rise to meet that spending, right? So what are some ways that we can prepare ourselves to not come up against a tax wall later?
Yeah, and it is a complicated subject. So, and we don't know what the law is going to be at this time. So I would encourage people to hear about it, understand it, but a lot of things may not affect them. Other things could affect them. You know, we are at a 40-year tax low, and we think that taxes are going to go up in certain areas. And so they need to pay attention to that and think about it for their future and where taxes are going to go. We'll see a lot more here over the next few months and see what will eventually maybe turn to law.
You know, one of the things that, everyone is, either filed their taxes or in that process now. And really, with all of the moving parts, to try to do that on your own seems like a folly. But especially for high earners, when we talk about income brackets and tax strategies, a certified financial planner, a CPA, really is essential to getting the most bang for your buck and protecting yourself, I would think.
It really is. And, you may think as a viewer, well, I hear this $400,000 mark, it's not going to affect me. Well, that may be true on income, but there could be federal state tax exemptions, capital gain exposure, and they're talking about changing that. That's another issue. There's some big proposals that could happen with Social Security this year. So that also could affect you. And so it gets complex really easy quickly. And so you really need a professional, I think, to guide you through and make sure that you're making the best decisions for yourself, because every situation is different.
So one of the terms that I've heard creeping up is called income splitting, is something about married couples and their taxes. Can you kind of shed a little light on that?
Yeah, again, getting complicated, but the overview is that, if somebody has a business and they're able to hire a family member, they potentially could push some income over to that family member. And it's looking at a family of income and how they may be able to lower their overall taxes. The other thing then, when they do that, individuals may be able to take advantage of tax credits and other things that are available to them. So that does become very complex. You need to run projections when it comes to income splitting and whether or not it really makes sense, but it is a strategy.
So talk a little bit more about tax credits and how they can, how we as individuals can take advantage of them, because that can get kind of confusing as well.
Yeah, so get this. You have the child tax credit, you have the recovery rebate credit, you have the savers credit, you have the earned credit. There's a lot of credits that may be available to someone. You could be only subject to one or have available one credit, or it could be multiple credits. And credits are different than a deduction. A deduction reduces your income. A credit reduces the amount of tax you owe. And so it can be quite a savings for someone. They want to make sure that they're taking advantage of all the credits that are available to them.
And, speaking of deductions, things that I remember, growing up aren't eligible anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, and the tax law changes that happened in 2018 that right now is due to expire at the end of 2025. A lot of people can't itemize anymore. And so, itemization was a way to help reduce your overall taxable income, and they can't itemize anymore. For those that get tax credits, that doesn't fall under the itemization, Schedule A. It falls under a tax credit. And again, it reduces the amount of tax that someone owes.
So as I'm preparing for, the future, retirement, that kind of thing, and how those funds that I might pay into affect my end of the year tax strategies. Is a 401k better, or is a Roth IRA better, or how do you kind of decide which avenue to take?
Yeah, so, Roth IRAs, I think, or Roth 401ks is a great option because it is tax-free, and it will be tax-free. What we don't see happening is someday where Congress would say, okay, those Roth IRAs that were tax-deferred and tax-free now are taxable. So we are really encouraging people, if they're in the savings phase, to really look at Roth IRA, Roth 401k, and also still consider that pre-tax 401k. So maybe a split there, Craig, really making sure that you have good balance, because we're just seeing that tax-free is a good thing. We're seeing these accounts now, because they've been around since 1997. We're really seeing people now that have taken advantage of this for many years really start to build up some very good tax-free income.
Well, I think the key here is if you're on a fixed income, if you're a high earner, no matter where you fit in the spectrum of financial wealth and health, a professional really is key. And of course, you have great services there, and you always seem to bring a gift when you come to Hometown Living, which I think is awesome. What are you offering today?
Yeah, so today, we are part of Ed's Slot Elite Advisor Program, and Ed is renowned really as a speaker, a teacher in retirement planning and IRA planning, and we're fortunate to be an advisor in his program. There's only 400 of them in the country. And what I have today actually is a retirement decision guide. We hand these out to folks. We're offering it up free if they just call the number there that's going to be on the screen, the 574-212-0446. It really gives you some good guidance to making retirement decisions. You can call that number. We'll send this guide out to you and really help someone think through those decisions that they have. And then the next step would be, meeting with us, 30 minutes, no cost or obligation, just to see if they're on the right track.
Well, it's never too late to start planning for retirement, and you certainly are a great resource for our friends at home. So, Erik, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you so much.
Pick up the phone and call 574-212-0446 or visit them at hilltopwealthsolutions.com to get your free book, that Ed Slot book giveaway. More Hometown Living when we come back.